Okay. Okay. Who wants to share some good news?
I'll share, Bill.
Yeah, please.
I woke up early this morning. Donna sent me over the pivot shift call. So I was on that along with the clubhouse meeting, and I just sent out 3 buyer brokerage agreements this morning as well. So
Good grief.
I've done a lot before 8:30.
I did like some packing, and I felt pretty accomplished, and I didn't get 3 buyers, that's for sure. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, looks like you're frozen. All right, great job. Great job.
And I
All right, you
received
guys
proof
getting
of funds.
excited for
I
feeling you?
received proof of funds this morning for my $1 million buyer. So I'm excited about that.
Excellent. Oh my goodness, man. When it rains, it pours, right? Although they usually say that for bad news, I think. Can you say that for good news?
I guess so.
Bill, a
right.
positive way to say that would be deals. They're like grapes. They come in bunches.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard that. I like that line. They come in bunches. All right, great stuff. Okay, who else wants to share some positive news, and then we can jump into some role play and some strategy around the reverse bold 100. Candace, if you don't mind, could you post the that Canva link one more time?
Yeah, so it seems like it's not working when I post the link, but it works when I forward the email that was sent to me with the Canva link. So if you're having any difficulty and it's saying, please request access, just text me and I'll send you an email, and that everybody's has been able to get in with that.
Okay, and then I'm gonna send you, if you could send me the email, Candace.
Okay.
And then I have a list of those here that have committed to the program,
Okay.
and I will make sure that all of those people have it.
Thank you.
Okay. Am I missing anyone on this call by chance? I have Markia, Crystal, Melissa, Lorinda, Neha. Let me know if you plan to spend the day with us next week for the reverse bold 100, and we'll get you all the info. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Today I had in mind some role play around reverse bold. Do you guys want to start off with that?
Sure.
Okay. Who has put some messaging out there? What kind of responses are you getting? Are you hearing any? Did you get any reaction that surprised you? Did you get asked a question and not know how to respond? What are some of the conversations that you'd like to kind of rehearse that you might be having or you expect to have? Okay, cool. Let's back up for a second. Let's talk about the whole purpose of this event.
You can do that on either Ben's or Miriam Shannon's. Which one did you want?
Google is thinking I'm talking to them.
Which device did you want to do that on?
Google, stop. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
You always have to have the last word.
Yeah, seriously, they always have to have the last word. Okay, so let's think about what is the overall goal here. Okay, I know there's a flashy prize. I know we're all trying to get them to call in on a certain day and all that stuff. However, the real point is to use this opportunity to have conversations with the people that we're close with and those that we may get a chance to meet because of this. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so if you're calling somebody to tell them about the program and they're like, oh, I can't, I'll be out of town that day or something like that, that's okay. The goal is to have the conversations. So let's try not to get too caught up in like, what time are they going to call or any of that kind of stuff. But we want to start to have the sheet. Candace, remind me, have we shared the sheet that has like the questions?
No, I'm going to put that today with a form. I'll put that today and incorporate it into a form with the contact information that we need. So it'll have the questions at the top and then the form at the bottom, or else I can just do, I'll post the script and then I'll do the form separate so people don't have such a printing.
So I have a question around that, Candace. Can we do, or like I posted it on Instagram and Facebook. I'm curious, is there, if someone calls current, I mean, like now instead of waiting, can they be entered into the drawing? Or do they have to specifically call on that day? Because as Bill referenced earlier, the goal is essentially just to get people to call us.
So you want to encourage people to call that day so that we have an event, right? But if somebody says, oh, I'm going to be out of town and I can't, if it were me, I'd say, you know what, I'll take your information now and I'll register you on that day. I'm not going to be very authoritative about that.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely.
Right.
Make sure on that sheet, Candace, that it includes the details around, maybe if you share or if you make an introduction to one of your friends or colleagues or whatever, meaning if you give a referral that day, or if you call in and then give a referral as well, you would get like an extra entry, something of that nature.
Right.
Yeah, Crystal, I would agree with that. I wouldn't be too anal on what day they call in. Yes, it is that is the point, right? But I'm not going to say, well, if you can't call in, then you can't get an award, because then they'll be like, you're kind of a jerk. I think I'm going to go use a different real estate agent.
Right. And then of course, for the Facebook Live drawing, I'm sure they'd have to, do they have to be present to win or online to win, or how is that going to work?
Well,
I think
I was going to
Go
say,
ahead.
let's take a vote. Let's take a vote. We're all business people here. Let's put on our business hats and see how that wants to be run. Unless you have a way that you want to do it, Bill.
I mean, I'm not partial to any system, but my thought is probably not. I mean, because ultimately what's going to happen is, like, the way I see it is like 15 people are going to be doing a Facebook Live, pictured at the front of the big room in the office. And then one person's going to get called, and to be able to figure out whose person it is, did they like a page? Are they like listening somehow? Can they send us a message saying they're listening? I think it's just too much. Let's just draw a name.
Yeah.
And if a day happens and, we can't track down that person or something, then we'll draw a different name.
The other thing is that you can use that live video for those people who aren't there as a follow-up, right? You can say, hey, I wanted to share with you the exciting, the exciting Facebook Live where the winner got drawn or the winners got drawn, and just want to let you know I'm going to make sure I've got your name for the next time, and I'll let you know when the next event is. And by the way, there you go. Keep that conversation going.
At what price would you consider selling?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, that's a fantastic question.
Most definitely.
Right. And it's possible. I mean, look at what you've done in that neighborhood that you've been working, Crystal. Like,
Oh my gosh.
6 months ago, they thought that they'd sell their home for 280, 290. And now it's completely possible that they would sell the home for, even a not updated home for, 360, 370.
Yeah, that's right. I just
Right.
got a call from the client that wanted 400 for their home. And she's like, well, we just found out another home's coming on the market. And I said, where? And she said, I'm not telling you. I want you to focus on closing mine first. Well,
Mrs. Seller, you don't have to worry about that. I got a whole team behind me working on that file.
Yeah.
I stare at it every day.
I covered it. So now it's a matter of just approaching it the right way. It's someone who passed away. And so the daughter has already said, it hasn't even been a week, I was told, but the daughter has already said that she's going to sell the house, and she's right next door to one of my biggest allies. So someone who sends me business and refers me business, and she's the one who mentioned it. So I know that I'll get the listing. There's no question about that.
Yeah. Just, obviously, this, but just so everyone hears it, have the come from a place of compassion and patience, and you know, there's probably other people, I don't know if there's probably
No,
other
the
people,
card,
but maybe,
first and foremost, Bill, the card is already written. The condolence card is already written and will be sent out today, and there'll be no mention of what I do. It will just be signed
Exactly.
with my name. So no.
she'll recognize your name.
Yeah, she'll recognize my name from the sign right on the same street. So,
Yep.
but that's not the point. You know, no, first and foremost is to acknowledge the loss, and the business will eventually come.
Oh my gosh, perfect. You said it exactly perfectly. Great job. Great job. Okay, what other questions have you guys encountered around this event? Any other specific roadblocks you've hit, things that you're a little unclear about? Candace, you have this look on your face like you just saw somebody die. What's going on? You're on mute. What'd I say?
That's so funny. That's my thinking face. I was like, oh, I got an idea.
Okay. Who else wants to chat about this topic? Do we want to role play any specific situations? Do we want to role play a call in on that day? How do we want to use this time as efficiently as possible?
Roll.
Is the script out there that we're supposed to be using, or like the questions, if you will?
Melissa, I'll have
Yeah,
it help this morning.
Yeah, Candace is going to be sharing that. I've got a list of all the people that have committed. Tracy Trent, Drew Patrick, Michael Gould, Jaleesa, Ashley, Goodrich, Ebony, Crystal, Lorindo with an O, Ryan, Teria, Jenny, Melissa Guy, and Markia. So if you plan on participating, and I did not read your name, we'll get you all the information you need. Just poke Candace or myself, and we'll get you all those sheets. We're also going to do a little bit of rehearsal on that Wednesday morning. We'll have our huddle at 8:30 in the morning at the office. We'll still broadcast via Zoom, but hopefully those that are participating will be at the office at that time, ready for the calls. And we'll do kind of a little rehearsal then too. Again, there's really no like, this is your event, right? You can run it according to your brand and your mission and the way you conduct business. We're just essentially providing the framework and some of the prizes, right? So, you know, if you, let me give you an example. Let's say that you want to make a big deal about people's birthdays, okay? Then make sure that when you're on the phone with them, you're asking about their birthdays, right? And then maybe their children's birthdays or something like that, right? If you want to make a big deal about getting their home addresses, right? Interestingly enough, many of us are missing people's home addresses in the database. Is that not true? I mean, that's like the whole point, guys. Like, that's the real estate. Like, we should at least know where they live, right? But many of us lack that.
And
So
if you know that, I was going to say, if you can look it up in public records by name, and if you have an idea of what city they live in, sometimes that's a way to narrow it down. Or True People Search as well, sometimes will give you the address and you can check it in Realist.
Right, and if there's multiple addresses, then you can go in and say something like, you know, essentially, where is the tax bill being sent? Or which address do they have homestead filed on? Like, you can do a little bit of investigation work to see which address they happen to live in. But by the way, if they happen to own more than one home, it means they have an investor mindset, which means you really should be talking about investment opportunities, right? You know, are you considering making an investment in this market, right? What questions do you have? What areas are you interested in? Please describe the ideal investment for me. Are you looking to flip a property? Are you looking to wholesale a property? Are you looking to buy something and fix it up and rent it out? Is this a short-term play, a long-term play? What part of town do you want to be in? Are we buying for, you know, let's say 175 and putting 50 in and selling for 350? Or are we buying for 400, putting 150 in and selling for 700? Like, what's the ideal situation here? Because I'm on the phone all day with home buyers and home sellers. There's a very good chance I'll come across that opportunity. So I just want to be perfectly clear on what you're looking for so I can get that to you ASAP. Does that make sense? That is what your realtor, you would expect your realtor to do for you, isn't it? See what I'm saying? We want to get, I mean, the whole point of this activity is so you get used to talking to a ton of people at once. Make sense? Right? While I'm thinking about it, here's a good message for your away message for that day, right? You probably want to have a different away message that day, right? Thank you so much for calling in on our, we never did actually talk about like, what's kind of the name that's like, do we call it a bold 100 or a reverse bold 100? Or do we call it something else? Whatever it is, thank you so much for calling in today for an effort to register for this, our giveaway for today. I'm likely on the phone with another person reaching out. If you would, please leave your name and number, and I will get back to you today. Consider yourself entered, right?
We could call it the Get Ready for Spring giveaway.
Or it could just be the spring giveaway.
Yeah.
Or
the spring
February giveaway, right? And ideally, guys, remember that this is like potentially the first of many events that you might do like this. For example, you might do one around Mother's Day and have like a couple of, prizes that are perhaps more geared towards a woman, or a Father's Day and maybe have, like, I hate stereotyping and stuff, but like maybe for Mother's Day, you have, some type of beauty package or spa package. And for Father's Day, maybe you have a golf outing or what, I mean, you could do whatever you want, right? But, you could also have like a July 4th giveaway, and it could be like a grill and a, grill set and, all the cooking utensils and maybe like a flat screener. You see what I'm saying? This isn't the only time that you can do this.
And also you could pick a neighborhood. And so for instance, when I was a brand new agent, I had a coach who had me outdoor knocking all the time. And one of the events was Thanksgiving, and I gave away 2 turkeys to a neighborhood, which was fun to deliver, by the way. Now I would have somebody deliver it, but I gave away 2 turkeys. So you could definitely say, hey, I've got a giveaway for this neighborhood. I love this neighborhood. And so, whatever holiday it is, and you could keep it a lot less than what we're spending, this $1,000 that we're spending. You could do, what the turkeys cost me, $100. But people loved it. So, and that's a way to follow up your door knocking that you're doing anyway. You could say, I've been door knocking for a while in this neighborhood, or I've been meeting some of the neighbors in this neighborhood. Love what I'm hearing. And by the way, I just wanted to let you know there's a giveaway that I'm hosting on such and such a day. And call me so I can enter you. And you just hang that on their doors, right?
Right. Yeah, like Drew Patrick does something where like he'll, even at his open houses, he'll say, when you register for the open house, each month we do a drawing for a prize, right? So let's say he does a lot of open houses. Let's say he does 2 open houses a week, so 8 open houses. Let's say he meets an average of 10 people each time, right? So he's got, what would that be? 20 times 4, 80 people in his database that have registered at open houses of his. Would you trade a $100 gas card or whatever for 80 new people to speak to? I think I probably would, right? The average lead online costs about $55 right now. So if I can get 80 leads for $100, is that a good deal? Okay. This is a total sidebar, but this is a conversation. Michael, do you mind if I share a little bit about what we were talking about yesterday?
No, not at all.
The non-private stuff, right?
Thank you.
Okay, so I was looking at Michael's numbers yesterday, and he had a great wait a second. Am I getting this wrong myself? Michael, am I? Yeah, we talked yesterday at the end of the day, right?
We talked at, it was like 2 o'clock, I believe.
Okay, it was not you then. What we talked about was this idea of the person had high numbers from a contact standpoint, but they had what I would consider to be relatively low numbers from a database ad standpoint. And so I asked, where are all these, what's going on here? Who are you calling? Right. And they were calling like absentee owners and essentially strangers. And they were focused, in my opinion, and I could tell this just from looking at the numbers, they were focused, I think, on an immediate, they were looking too short term. So the guy told me that they had 50 something contacts, but they only added like 8 to their database. And I said, what about all these other people? Right. And they said, well, they just didn't have a need at that time. Oh, I know who it was. Yeah, I'm sorry, Michael, it wasn't me. And I said, who are all these people? And they're like, oh, it's absentee owners, it's strangers or whatever. I said, yeah, so give me an example of a contact that you had where you did not put the person in your database. And he gave me an example. And I said, wait a second. So that guy owns a piece of property in Metro Atlanta. And I don't care if he doesn't want to do a transaction with you right now or not, but that person should go in your database, right? They're going to have a real estate question at some point, and they're telling you they don't have a relationship with somebody. So a win on that call is getting that guy some information and sharing some value with them, or promising some value to them, and getting the rest of their contact information so that you can have an ongoing relationship. So if somebody calls in, I'll tie this in with reverse bolt 100. Somebody calls in and says, oh yeah, I live in East Cobb and love my home and the kids love school and everything's great, right? Say, wonderful. So when it comes to real estate, who is it that you trust? Or the next time you have a question about real estate, which real estate agent are you going to be calling, right? Because chances are whoever they know is not communicating with them strategically and systematically, and they're probably not delivering the value that homeowner deserves. So now you've got an opportunity to impress them and deliver things they need and answer their questions and these kind of things. So just an overall idea, but certainly applicable for next week, is don't be so concerned with like getting an agreement in writing that you overlook the fact that you're having a pleasant conversation with somebody who lives in your town that owns real estate. Does that make sense? Okay, because literally he had, I think, 50 something contacts. He should have had 50 people added to his database. So I said, you better go call those people back. These are people that gave you a few minutes of their life. Now you got to find out what they want. Fine, you figure what I'm saying?
One of the things Dustin suggested that has helped me tremendously is to put up on my wall what our value propositions are for Keller Williams. We have 6 value propositions: training, technology, etc. And so when I'm calling agents from other companies, I can find out what they need and plug in whatever it is, whether it's education or technology or time management, whatever it is, I can plug it into one of our values. So what I find is that having that reminder in front of me before I make phone calls is very, very helpful. So if you have a goal for the calls that you're making in front of you, like I want to ask these particular questions, and have that list on your wall in front of you or somewhere where it's present, where you don't have to where you can look at it. I think that will help you structure your calls and get the information that you need. Because sometimes we just get into the conversation and our minds start turning back to who we are and what we want, and we really want to keep focused on what the goal of the call is. So just a suggestion there that I think is powerful.
Great point. Great point. Candace, I just sent you a WhatsApp message. If you could take a look at that, please. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so yesterday we had a in-person, we had a lot of requests for this, and what I would consider to be pretty low attendance, an in-person role play session where we got a chance to script practice and do some dialogues back and forth and these kind of things. and we had 2 agents come. So did we pick the wrong day, the wrong time? Was that not as important or cool as you guys were hoping it was going to be? Is that something you'd like to see again in the future?
My apologies.
I'm
This week has been
interested, Bill.
extremely busy, and as far as just stuff with my family, like it's been one for the books. So I apologize about the attendance and everything, but that is something that I would definitely love to do, because I do feel that it's helpful. It's helpful for anyone to know, like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? How can I get better? How much do I need to do this? All of those things. So I completely apologize. Please put it back on the schedule.
Love your hair, by the way.
I do too. I was just thinking that it's so cool.
I didn't
I'm
realize I
also
came off of
interested
camera.
with the role play.
What
What was that?
Neha, what did you say?
Yeah, I like to also attend next time. I will
Okay.
be there also.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. What I'd like for everyone to think about now is we've got a lot of different scripts and dialogues, and I'm willing to bet that there's at least one that, if you ask yourself honestly, that you're not that great at, right? So maybe it's the buyer presentation, maybe it's the listing presentation, maybe it's putting together the pre-list, maybe it is dealing with particular objections, maybe it's asking certain questions when you are, out and about, like the 3 ask script and these kind of things, right? So I want you to think real hard on what is the conversations, what is the script or dialogue that you currently have the least amount of confidence in, right? And I want you to go to our resources and print out those questions or those sentences or that presentation. And I want you to give it some focus this week, okay? So if you say, hey, I'm not very good at the commission objection, okay, next week, I want you to say, oh my gosh, I could answer that for anybody. No more days should go by that you don't feel like you can handle that. Does that sound fair? Okay.
Yep.
So Candace, maybe at the end of the call today, we could do, everyone can go around and tell us what script they're going to go print out and practice.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And what Candace was alluding to a second ago was essentially an intake sheet, right? It's like I'm on the phone and things are going the way they're going, and all of a sudden this person expresses interest in, maybe being a seller or maybe being a buyer or something like that. And I just reach over to my sheet of paper with my stack of intake sheets for seller, and now I got a list of questions to ask them. Right?
Bill, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
With Vulcan 7, like, I've been stalking it. There's still no for sale by owners. Like, everything that's on there is expired. So should I kind of get my mind set up to go away with for sale by owners and more just focus on the people who expired?
Yes, for the short term, but we also need to find out why there's no FSBOs. Is anyone else
Yeah.
having that problem?
It stopped about a month ago.
Yeah, and I've been watching to see if they were gonna load it up, but the numbers are the same.
Okay. Vulcan FSBO call. I will look into that today. I apologize. In the meantime, go after the expireds. Okay. All right. I'm going to have Candace take over the end of the call. I totally forgot I had a little virtual doctor's appointment at 9 o'clock today. You guys have a wonderful day. Candace will take over. It's recording to the cloud, so we're all good there. And I hope you have an awesome day. Don't forget, 1 to 4 today is the class on how to build a rock star team. And I know many of you aren't there yet, but she's so good. She's so good. She explains everything. She's a very, very special way of explaining things. And it makes so much sense. And I hope that you'll spend some time listening to that today.
Hey,
Have
Bill,
an awesome day.
before you
Yeah.
go, is she the person putting on the second part, the advanced part today? Did I understand you correctly? She is the owner of Hello Leverage?
No, totally separate
got it.
topics.
Okay,
So
okay,
the
no
person
worries.
putting on,
She's one of the busy blondes. Got it.
that's exactly right. So
Okay,
she was
perfect.
essentially Gary's, for like the 2 to 3 years leading up to the publishing of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Gary was, had personally recruited her from Remax and then personally coached her for years. And in those couple of years, she and her partner were the #1 team at Keller Williams. She was basically the millionaire real estate agent model before there was one. And then a lot of they were running a very chaotic, very profitable, but very chaotic business. And Gary helped them kind of molded them to the model and kind of built it all with them. So she's got just an incredible perspective on the business. I highly, highly recommend that you invest some time into that. All right, guys, I'm out. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
All right, everybody. So here's what I was thinking. I like to think, well, I think of each person in here as a business owner, as a leader. And so what I'd like to do is share this script that I have created, and based on the one that has been used prior, and then let's tweak it and make it work for you. How does that sound?
Sounds great, Candace.
Okay. And then we can practice it if we have enough time. Okay, so here we go. All right, can everybody see this? Wait, let me scroll up. Can everybody see that? Okay.
I can see it.
Yes.
Maybe make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to pull it over to a different screen, so give me 1 second. I can make it bigger that way. Screen 2. Okay. Everybody see that now?
Yes,
Okay.
it's just fine. The size is just fine.
Good. Okay, so here's what I was thinking. Now let's just take it line by line. Hi, are you calling in to first of all, do you all like the spring giveaway? Or do you want to say buy winter giveaway? Buy winter giveaway? Or do you have an idea around that?
I like the spring. It's kind of, progressive. We're all waiting for that weather anyway. So it kind
Okay.
of puts your head in the trajectory of it's coming.
Okay, all right. Okay, so hi, and this is kind of the way I'd say it. I'd practice with the mirror and I'd smile while I'm saying it. People can hear smiles over the phone, right? So hi, are you calling in to register? You know what? Let me not do this. Who wants to do this? Who wants to read this? And then
Candace, I'd like to do it.
Okay, Crystal, go ahead.
Okay, so ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, are you calling to register for the giveaway?
Yes?
Great. In order to complete the entry, I need to ask you a few questions. Would that be okay?
Yeah, I'm going to add that too. I thought about that. Okay.
Okay.
So would you spell your name? I'm going to say, would you spell your name so I make sure I have it correctly?
Great. So would you spell your name to make sure that I have it correctly? I like that.
Everybody else, speak up too.
What's the best phone number would you like to use when you win? What's the best contact number that we should use when you win? What's the best contact number? Okay. What address would you like the prize to be sent when you win?
Yeah, you're right. Better grammar.
I don't know about that.
No, I think that's better grammar for sure.
Okay. And thank you so much for that. And would you give me an introduction to someone you know who can, and you can be entered twice. Okay. Would you give me an introduction to someone you know you can be entered twice? Would you give me, I don't know, anyone else's feedback here?
When you say when, you're asking for it then. Like when you give me, like you're telling me, so when you give me one, I'll enter you again within the same phone call, is my understanding. Is that what you meant, Candace?
Yeah, but I'm open. Like I said, I'm open. This is a team effort here.
Sure, I'm looking at the flow. When you give,
And this is how I talk, right? This is how I talk. So I'm
And we
writing.
all talk differently. Yes, yes, absolutely. So how about, you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to be entered twice. Who do you know that would be, who do you know? Yeah, there you go. Who do you know? You have an opportunity to be entered twice. Who do you know? So it seems a little softer, but again, we all speak differently and mine is non-confrontational.
I still think they need to know how they get that, how they're entered twice. It's not clear.
Right. So I'm just speaking my mind, but everyone's different. Thank goodness. We're all pieces of a puzzle and it takes us,
Right.
all of us collectively to make the picture whole.
And so I put here, and I put here down at the note, if they're like, well, what do you mean? Because I have a feeling people are going to say, what do you mean? You could say, well, for instance, would they like to know their equity, what their homes are selling for in their neighborhood, tips for getting their home ready for spring, or information about interest rates, home buying process. So those are some of the things that you could say if they're like, well, what do you mean? And then that will jog their memory maybe. Oh yeah, I'd be interested in knowing what my equity is.
Sure, that's great.
Okay, so that would be, who do you know that we could talk to about real estate today to answer any questions? That's a very non-threatening one. Linda, you're smiling. What are you thinking? You're muted.
I said, no, I like this.
Okay.
It's just jogging my memory at the end of some questions you can ask.
Yeah, so you can, and this is editable. So when I put this in, you can add your own kind of notes for things that you think you want to suggest, and share that with everyone if you would. Okay, go ahead, Crystal.
Who do you know that might be interested in selling or buying a home in the near future?
Okay. And last question.
Well, I think we should definitely add so that we can update their information as far as asking for their birthday. I'm curious. What's your birthday?
Yeah.
I'm curious. What's your birthday?
Or you could say, I'd love to, may I have your birthday, because I'd love to have your birthday because I want to make sure I remember it.
Acknowledge you on your special day. I mean, yeah, we could say it a whole
sometimes we do
ways.
Yeah, and sometimes we do giveaways. Well, you could just ask it. I don't think we need to give a reason.
Okay. And what's your birthday? Yeah, I think you're right. I like that. Just get to the point. Just get to
You
the
can
point.
say, please, what is your birthday, please?
All right.
Okay.
Should we say when versus what? When is your birthday versus what is your birthday?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. The grammar police are here today. I love it. Because apparently my grammar, I have Grammarly on here, but apparently
Me
it's not.
too. Me too. I pay
coffee.
the annual subscription and have since 2007, Candace.
Mine hasn't had its coffee yet today, so. All right, how do we feel about this?
And
Thank you, and I hope you win. Thank you, and I hope you win. Fingers crossed you win.
last question, who do you know that might like to explore a career in real estate? I like that one.
Anybody else? Do we want to have an ending, or we just want to say, thank you, I hope you win? Something like that.
I like the idea of stay tuned and make sure to log in for the.
Oh yeah, be sure to,
to remind them.
Thank you.
Thank you, and be sure to log in for the live drawing.
I'll send you the live drawing at 5 on
Now, personally, I've never done a live anything on Facebook. Is there a special link? Is there a special process to do that?
So when you go to, let me see if I can share that just a sec. February 23rd.
I forget to save that.
Page. Okay. And put an exclamation so we know to be excited. Okay, so hang on one second. I'm going to stop sharing, get to Facebook. Oh, haha, I just have to show you all this, sorry. This is my Facebook memory. I'll tell you all the story about him sometime. He was an actor. I was a flight attendant, and he came up, he and his beautiful spouse came to our little DC-9 plane, puddle jumping from somewhere to somewhere. And I almost went up to him and said, you know, you guys are so good looking. You should think about being in TV or movies. And I went back and I was like, you guys have to come up and see this guy. I can hardly even serve him. He's so handsome. And they were like, oh my God, that's John James. He's on Dynasty. So anyway, that was a memory. But let me look here how to do a Facebook Live. Or let me do it this way.
But will we be on our own lives, or would this be under the Roswell live?
You'll be on your own live. We'll
Okay.
each be on our own live. So there's going to be a lot of noise and a lot of excitement, I think. So you navigate to the page where you want to publish your live stream, tap the live button at the bottom of the post composer. Oh, okay, that's how you do it. So you just go here, live video, see it right there? And then you can go live, you can create live video event. So I would explore this a little bit before the 23rd. I might practice a live, just saying, I might say, hey, so excited about our spring giveaway on February 23rd. Please be sure to call in my number between such and such and such and such, 9 and 4 on February 23rd. So you might do something like that to practice.
Yes, I was working on the create the live video event. I don't know if anyone online has ever done that, but it captured the picture of my cover page. And so I tried to take the image, the Canva image, to replace that, but it cut it in half. So I guess I have to tweak it a little bit more so it will fit. That way the advertisement is congruent.
Yes. So if you do that and you want to share how you did that, that would be great, or a link to the instructions, the Google, how to do this in Google instructions. Tracy's not on here, but I posted in PC Help. Tracy created an event on her page, and she was able to select those she wanted to invite. So she didn't have to create a custom list. She just created an event. And then the invitation was sent out to everyone that she checked from her friends. So all her friends were listed when she created the event, and all she had to do was check who she wanted to see the event, and then it was sent to them. So that's a shortcut that I thought was pretty smart.
Okay. Is this overthinking it, Candace, by creating a Google form with these questions already on the Google form to allow people to go to the Google form by clicking on a QR code? I
think I like that, but I also think the purpose of this is to have the conversation. I want to get somebody live. I want to get somebody live on the phone. I want to build that excitement with my voice, and I want to say, you know what, I'll follow up with you, and I probably should add that to the script. I'll follow up with you and let you know the outcome.
Right. I'm just concerned with the amount of questions that we have there. How many people are we not going to be able to actually talk to? I really feel that that is gonna definitely be an issue unless we put some of these other services in place to allow the calls to ring over to another phone or to bring in additional bodies to answer those additional calls, because the amount of time that it took for us to read through those questions, of course, we were going at a slower pace, but if you think about your database, and if you even get 20% of those people to call in, they're not going to keep calling. They may get frustrated.
Suggesting that we change our voicemails for that day so that.
Yes, I got that. Yes, absolutely. And I got that. And I thought it might even be a good idea to change it now, so I have that script. Thanks so much for sharing. I just see this as a potential that some people will not get connected to us. So what do we do with them? Do we not get them registered? Do we not get them in the drawing? That's my only problem.
That's a good question. And in the interest of collecting contacts,
yes,
I would say, yes, create a Google form and say, if, we're just trying to have as many contacts as possible. So I don't think there's a wrong way or a right way to do this. I think in the interest of gathering more information, what you don't want to have happen, and this is what you have to each way as business owners, is if I create a Google form, is anybody going to call me on the 23rd? Well, if your phone doesn't ring on the 23rd, you can call out, right? If you've got those Google forms.
That's right.
So that might not be a bad idea, just to accommodate. And you might have on your outgoing message, if you call this, thank you for your call. If you're calling to register for the event, please navigate to ... Google form and fill in the form, and you'll be entered today. So that could be your outgoing message. What do you all think about that? Crickets.
No, I think that that's good, but
Yeah.
also the probability of everybody calling in at the same time, you know, yes, you'll have a couple, but I don't think, and I could be completely wrong, that it's going to be like 10 to 15 people calling at the same time. So even if they do get your voicemail, that's a perfect opportunity when we have downtime to return that phone call, you know, and just kind of go at it from that end, you know, as well.
So what I've heard from other reverse bolds is, even though we have lunch, we have breakfast and lunch covered, you'll have time to eat breakfast. So I'd encourage you to get there early so you can. But what I've heard is that the phone rings nonstop. 100 is kind of the goal, but typically what happens is it's more than 100. So maybe this first time, as we're practicing and maybe not promoting as much as we should. Well, let me not use the word should, but maybe we're not promoting as much as we could. And we do have some downtime. That would be a time when you could do that. But in the interest of making sure nobody gets left out and create anger instead of goodwill, maybe that Google page is a good thing to have. That's a great idea, Crystal, as a matter of fact. So it's what I'm going to say this again. You are all business owners, right? And I think this is us creating something we've never done before. And I think it's going to be a rocking success, depending on the efforts that you put into promoting it. But it's your business. So if you choose to do a Google form, that's up to you. If you choose to call them back in a downtime, that's up to you as well. I'm gonna leave it that way, because I have a lot of respect for the way each of you think. And if you don't know, just do one thing or the other. How do you all feel about that?
I think that's good.
Okay.
I think leaving it up to, because everybody handles it differently.
Yeah. So
do you mind, Candace, at the end? I kind of missed some of the beginning of when you guys started talking about this. Would you mind staying on, or I can call you after this and we can kind of go over some of the stuff?
Sure. Bill asked me to do something at the end of the call. Oh, he asked me to ask each of you what script you're going to practice. I think there's an obvious one. But what script are you going to practice today? And just take yourselves off mute, and you could say FSBO, expired, care call, reverse bold. You can say whatever you want, but just take yourself off mute. And Crystal, you start. Which script are you going to practice?
Definitely promoting reverse bold.
Okay, Ashley.
I'll practice the reverse bold too.
Okay, Markia. Okay, we'll come back to you. Neha.
Reverse bold. I'm sorry, trying to find a mute button.
Markia, reverse bold. Neha.
I can try the reverse bolt.
Okay, John.
Need to work on my expires, of course, the reverse bold for this weekend, but I need to concentrate on expires in my listing presentation.
Okay, sounds good. And Ebony?
Same, both the reverse bolds and expires.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm going to stay on for a little while. If anybody wants to stay on, and I'll answer questions. Otherwise, if I want to be respectful of your time. So thank you all for being here. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a fun day. And I think that we're going to move our businesses forward probably way more than 1%.
Quantum leap.
Yeah, quantum leap. Thank you.
Candace, would you also please share the script?
Yeah, I'll post it in PC Help
Okay.
just as soon as I finish that last sentence of.
Thanks so much.
Follow up with
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thanks, Candace.
Thank you, Candace.
Thank you.
Hey Candace, how would you connect people to a Google form? Are you referring them to a link like on your Facebook page, on your website?
Yeah, I'd probably in my outgoing, so let me think about this. And if anybody has any suggestions, jump in. I'd probably leave it on my outgoing message. And then I would, I'm trying to think so people don't have to hear it incorrectly. Yeah, you might on that event that you create because, and again, John, what I was saying is you don't want to just broadcast this on your Facebook to everybody in case there are realtors following you, because you don't want realtors or their particular contacts calling in for the giveaway. The goal is to build your database. So you want to be selective about who you invite. So if you create a Facebook event or you do a custom list, however you want to do that, you could put the link for the Google form in there. But my thinking is that I'd like to figure out a way that it could be, I'd like to figure out a way that it could be texted to them if they call in and we don't connect.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So let me work on that. If anybody has young people that are particularly tech savvy and they know how to do things like that, please let us know, okay? And in the meantime, I'll do some research on it.
Is that something like, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go finish your thought.
I was gonna say, is that something you leave like on your voicemail to say, hey, leave your name, number, and I'll text you a link to like the Google form or something like that?
Yeah, my outgoing message would say, hi, if you're calling about the spring giveaway, so sorry I missed your call, but you still have a chance to enter. Please navigate to www.springgiveaway. To receive a text, click 1, something like that. And then the text will send over, and then the form will populate when they get there, the form is on the Google Drive right there.
Candace, I think you can actually like in your bio links, like if you have Linktree, if you already have like one link, I think you could do like Linktree and put the link inside of your bio for the Google form. And maybe if they fill out the Google form, then they can be entered into the drawing without potentially having to talk to them, because we already have all their information and we still can follow up with them.
Okay, so that's called Linktree.
Yeah, Linktree.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up. Thank you, Markia.
You're welcome.
Ashley, go ahead.
If we're doing if we do decide to do the Google form, and let's just say that we're promoting and we get the information beforehand, even though that we didn't technically speak to them on the 23rd, the fact that we have all of their information, that suffices for them to be able to be entered into the drawing?
Yeah, really, it's not, yes, I think so. It's not so much about the drawing as it is to have contacts, to build your contacts. The drawing is a reason to build, a reason for people to contact you. I think it's great if they call in live from 9 to 4 on the 23rd. That's our goal. So we're really busy and the excitement is there and we can see the power of this. But I think if you want to, for those people who absolutely cannot call in on the 23rd, and I suspect, guys, that there will be, if people on their lunch hour, that there'll be a flurry of calls between like 11 and 1.
I think that maybe we shouldn't do the form until the 23rd, like to make it fair across the board. Like if we only make the Google form available on that date for them to fill out. Because I think we had that conversation last week, right? Where we were asking if we talked to somebody previously, if they can still be entered into the drawing. And you all had decided that it had to be on that day.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, I'm fine with whatever you all decide, however you want to run this. That's a great idea, and it does make it a little more fair. But again, the interest is to create contacts. So I'm going to leave that up to each of you for how you want to do that. If you want to, I wouldn't publish it too early. I just think that defeats the purpose. But I like that idea of publishing it on the 23rd.
How will we actually get those entries to Bill? Because I thought we were writing everything down and handing him the paper.
Yeah, so if they fill out a Google form, you can print it, right? You can print it, you can share it. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would, if you're doing the Google forms, we have to, that's why we have the break between 4 and 5, so we can make sure we have an hour to make sure we've got everybody entered, right? And I suspect that some of us will be helping Bill, right?
Sure.
During that 4 to 5 hour.
I have a different question.
Uh-huh.
Has anyone tried to like do ads for this just to kind of, I just want to see how that's going. I'm thinking about doing that, but I don't know if it's a good idea or not. And if so, if anyone's did it, how did you strategize your ad? What did you say? Or how can we go about that? And again, I missed class 3 days in a row. My apologies if you've already discussed it.
I mean, I haven't ran an ad for this in particular, but if you want to do an ad, then the Canva link that you have, you just can do like a little sponsorship thing and probably pick which areas you want so that it come up as like a little sponsorship for a particular target. And I think you could pay for it, how many days you want it to run on Facebook or either Instagram, for the time frame that you want it to be.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna share
Thank
my screen here. If I can figure out where it went to.
So I think you would just kind of like put the post on there and then you can kind of go to like the next step. And if you want to use that particular one for a sponsor or to pay for the ads, you can do that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And here, I'm going to share my screen. This is the notes from the video that these are notes from the video that I encouraged everybody to watch. I posted the link in the PC help. And see if I can scroll 100. So these were their stats. No, my mouse isn't working. Okay, here we go. These were their stats from, I'm going to find it. The stats from the team that, one of the teams that did the reverse gold, and they talk about the ads and the numbers. I feel like it's in here. It's a different one, but anyway, they had something like 30,000 impressions from their Facebook ads. Now, I'm not sure how big an ad that they did, but they had a lot of impressions. And I think actual leads from their Facebook ads, I think was something like 60. So again, I'm going to say this, you all are business owners. However you promote this is up to you. It's up to you and your budget. You can certainly create the Facebook event for free. You can do the custom list in Facebook for free. And share it that way. You can certainly make calls to your database and say, I want to make sure you're included in this. And I'll post these notes again. I want to make sure you're included in this. I want to let you know of our spring giveaway on February 23rd. Just call in between 9 and 4, my number, and I'll make sure you get registered. And by the way, be thinking of somebody else who might like to be entered, because you'll have 2 entries if you introduce us to somebody or can give us the name of somebody. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd love to know if if you're doing something and you think of a creative idea outside of the box, I hope you'll share it with everybody, because we all have different, our reach is wide. We all have a different group of people and a different reach. So share your ideas in here, just like Tracy shared her idea for creating the event and being able to select through her friends who she wanted to invite. Her question was about, should I invite local people or non-local people? And my answer to that was, I would invite everybody, because if somebody like for instance, she's from New Jersey, if somebody from New Jersey calls in and they give you an introduction to somebody in New Jersey who wants to buy or sell, well, you can hook them up with a great realtor in New Jersey and have a referral fee. So even though you're not actually helping buy or sell the house, that's passive income coming in, which is excellent. So think big, think bold, and you can just, like I said, this is yours to run with. So I would put on my business owner cap and think how I want to promote this. And we've given you a lot of suggestions about it. So also, like I said, if you can't open the Canva, the link in PC Help, what's happening is people are getting a message saying request access. Go ahead and just email me and I'll send you the email link that was sent to me, and that seems to be working. Any more questions?
Yeah, I don't have all, like, I missed a lot. So I don't have all the details. I know the drawing is February 23rd. And I've done one of these for myself before, but I was wondering how, is it like all of our people call in, and there's one drawing for, my contacts and your contacts and everyone else's contacts? Like, how does that part work?
So we're going to treat this the way that teams treat this,
Okay.
except that we each have our individual contacts calling in, or
Okay.
the people that we've reached that we don't know yet calling in. But when we do the Facebook Live, we're gonna have one. We're all gonna have our Facebook. Well, I won't, but you all will have your Facebook Live pointed toward the person who's pulling the
Gotcha.
prizes out of the thing, and we
Okay.
will be calling off names. They won't know if they're in your contacts or Ebony's
Okay.
contacts or Markia's. They'll just hear the name of the winner, and then we can promote that afterwards as a follow-up.
And I
Okay,
think that's the reason for us having multiple prizes, to try to potentially have
More than one winner.
more than one opportunity for our people, I guess, to win.
And and that was a decision that was made in here.
Okay.
A group decision, which I loved.
Okay, and what time is the actual drawing?
So the actual drawing will be at 5 o'clock. So we will all be at the office, preferably by 8:30, so we can do a bit of a morning huddle, run through scripts, whatever's needed last minute. And breakfast, we'll have breakfast. And then 9 o'clock, hopefully the phones start ringing. If they don't start ringing, I would recommend that you come with a list of contacts that you can call and say, hey, I'm doing a giveaway today. I want to make sure you get entered. Let me just ask you a few questions. You can do it that way too. So in case people aren't calling in yet, you can still be proactive. And we'll do that we'll be accepting calls and making calls from 9 to 4. And then at 5, from 4 to 5, we'll be making sure that Bill, who is entering all the names into the prize wheel that Markia suggested. Thank you, Markia. Then at 5, we will be doing the live Facebooks, and each of us will be doing the live Facebook. Well, each of you will be doing the live Facebook on your page, and that way you can create some excitement there. But there'll be a lot of noise in the room, a lot of excitement. They'll on the Facebook Live, they'll be seeing a lot of people. The perception is reality. They're going to associate that with you.
Okay. And what are the prizes that we have?
So the prizes are let me get here.
It's an Oculus, an Amazon gift card, a spa day, something else.
And a ring doorbell.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Oculus is about $399. The ring is like $299 or $199. It all totals almost about $800, and that way we have money left over for shipping and handling and that kind of thing. And then the Amazon gift card and the spa day are both $200.
Okay. Let me see. So we just hang out there from 9 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we have to be there the whole time?
I don't think it's hanging out. I think it's answering phone calls and building your database. Yeah, the idea is that you're there all day. Certainly if you have something that you can't be there for, but then you might miss whatever. But yeah, we're trying to do this live and in person because we want to create, especially for the Facebook Live at 5. And we also there's a lot of energy when people get together. I don't know if you've ever been in a lead gen where you're doing it all together and the room is packed and there's excitement and there are people saying whoop whoop, and that kind of thing. It feeds your energy in a way that doesn't happen when you're by yourself.
Okay. I think that's it.
Okay. All right. If anybody has any questions, reach out to Bill or me. I'll catch Bill up on what was decided about the Google form. And I'll research Linktree unless somebody has time to research Linktree and see how we can post the link to the Google Drive when somebody calls in and gets
Candace, just for clarification with the Linktree is just like, say for instance, if you have your personal website on your bio, sometimes it won't let you put multiple links. So the Linktree will allow you to have multiple links when you click on the Linktree app, on the Linktree link. it will allow you to click on the website. Then if you have the Google Doc, you can click on the Google Doc. So it just allows you to have multiple links in
Okay.
your bio versus just one link. So if nobody have a link or a website in their bio, then they can just post, click the link in my bio.
Yeah, and I did especially on Instagram. I didn't do Instagram, but on Facebook, I did a video, Morning Huddle, on how to add your website to your Facebook and make sure it's public and all of that. So that's not too long ago, maybe about 3 weeks.
Okay, yeah, so this will allow you to have multiple links in your bio versus just one.
Yeah.
I have one more question. Okay, so I am not the best with computers at all. I'm looking at the email that Bill just sent, and I love the flyer, but it's in a PDF. And the only thing that we would literally need to change on it, where it says enter to win, and it says call me at the phone number. Well, the phone number, and where it says hosted by, how do we do that? Like,
No,
it's a Canva link she's gonna send you.
The Canva
oh,
link.
he's gonna send another. Okay.
The Canva link is editable. So yeah, the Canva link is editable. Let me share my screen here.
Okay, because I'm just looking at what Bill, he just sent it maybe 15 minutes ago.
Okay, well, let me share my screen and I'll show you. Just email me and I'll email you the link.
Thank you.
Okay, so here it is. You'll when I click on the link, it takes me right here. I don't know if you have to have a Canva free subscription. That's what I have. But here's where Markia edited it. So you can go ahead and edit it for you, and then you download it right up here. And then you can use it for your Facebook post, with your selective group again, or your Facebook event. You can email this out to your database. So just email me that you need the link and I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, any other questions? All right, it's getting exciting. This is going to be a big day. Can you imagine adding 100 people to your database? And if 10% of them need to buy or sell, or know somebody who needs to buy or sell, that's 10 deals, right? 10 transactions. That's a good start for a year. That's a full year for some people. Okay, I need to hear some whoop whoops. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Call me if you need any
Candace for
help.
staying longer.
Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Okay,
Bye.
Or tomorrow. Bye.